Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashwin Gujral. I am a rising sophomore at the University of Pennsylvania, and today I will be going over Math No Calculator section for the May 7th, 2022 SAT. Let's get started. A certain university offers courses that are either 3 credits or 4 credits per course each semester. A student registered for a total of 16 credits for the fall semester. So the total is 16 credits. Which equation represents the possible number of 3 credit courses X, the 3 credit represented by X, and the 4 credit represented by Y. So what you would have to do here is understand that each course is 3 credit for X represents the number of courses that are 3 credits. So it would be 3 times X plus the number of 4 credit classes times the 4 credits per the class. It would be 4Y, gives you a total of 16 credits for the semester, and that is choice B. And that's how you do question 1 of this problem. You just have to realize what they're asking for and match the variables with the numbers appropriately. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Next one. Number 2. The function f is defined by f of x is equal to x plus 3. What is the y-intercept of the graph of y is equal to f of x in the xy plane? So what you have to do for this one is realize that f of x is equal to x plus 3 is and y is equal to mx plus b form, where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So what you would have to do is then understand that they're looking for the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is always in the form 0, comma, and then a number. So since it's a positive 3, you would have to know that it's 0, comma 3, which is choice D for this question. It won't be negative 3 because it's just like it won't be any other options on these options because they just don't match the given equation and the y-intercept. Question 3. The graph shown models the monthly revenue in millions of dollars for a particular marketing company from June 2009, which is right here, through October 2010, which is right here. According to the model, which of the following is the closest to the company's monthly revenue for June 2009? Since the number of the x-intercept represents months after June 2009, and then the question is asking for June 2009. Question is asking for June 2009. So it has to be the y-intercept because that's the initial starting point, and that's what they're asking. In other words, they're asking for the initial. So we have to locate the point right here, and since this is around 10 and this is 20, we would have to make an estimated guess that it's around 10. So from the choices that are given, the closest option to 10 is 8.5, choice A. Boom. So that's how you do question 3. You just have to understand what they're asking and then figure out the wording and just go from there. The concepts that they usually ask are not that challenging. It's just the way that they word it. That's the main challenge of the SAT. Question 4. In the figure shown, the right triangle ABC is similar to the right triangle ADC. So this is ABC and then CED. So where ACB is congruent to ACD, meaning that you can make a proportion out of these triangles. So what you could do here is use the given angles and the given lengths and then make a proportion. So you could do 3 over, and they're asking for length of CE. So, we can relate it to this length and this length here too, or the entire length. So we could do 3 over x is equal to 6 over 15 minus x, because then the entire length is 15. So what is CE? 15 minus x if this is x, right? So that would be 15 minus x. And then we could multiply and then solve for x. So this should be 6x is then, this is equal to 3 times 15 minus x. It would be 6x is equal to 45 minus 3x. And then add 3 to get 9x is equal to 45. And then you know x is equal to 5. Now, look what they're asking for. They're asking for the length of CE, which is not 5, because x is length of AC. The length of CE is 15 minus x, meaning that it's 15 minus 5, which is equal to 10. And that means that D is our answer for question 4. Because you have to, or you can't just go for the x value, because they're not like asking for the value of AC. They're looking for the length of CE. So you would have to do x, find x, which is 5, and then realize that CE is 15 minus x. So it would be 15 minus 5, which is 10. Choice D before. Question 5. Which polynomial is equivalent to this entire 12x to the fourth minus 5x plus 18, all added to 6x to the fourth plus 13x squared plus 7x minus 9. So what you would do here is distribute the plus sign. So you would rewrite everything 12x to the fourth minus 5x plus 18 plus 6x to the fourth plus 13x to the squared plus 7x minus 9, and then combine like terms. Combine like terms. So then you would still have, the 12 and the 6, you get 18x to the fourth. You know, this is out and this is also eliminated because they don't match with 18x to the fourth. That's one way of doing it. So canceling out choices. And then you would do the cubes. Are there any cubes? Nope. So then you go to the next exponent, and then you have the squared. 13x squared, so you get 13x squared. See if it's matching. No, this D isn't matching. We know C is our answer, but we can double check. Keep going. And then the next one is the x's, and then negative 5x plus 7x is plus 2x, and then plus 9 because the 18 minus 9, or plus 18 minus 9 is 9, and that matches with what we have. Choice C for question 5. So this was basic computation and finding like terms for this question. Oops. 6. The equation y is equal to x plus w relates to the positive numbers w, x, y, and z. Which equation correctly expresses x in terms of y, w, of w, y, and z? So what they're asking for is how to basically asking for isolate x. So what you would do here is x plus w over z. First, you're gonna multiply everything by z to get all the division or multiplication out of the equation. And zy is equal to x plus w. And now since you want to isolate w, you can subtract x. Since you want to isolate x, you can subtract w on both sides to get zy minus w is equal to x, which is equal to choice A for question 6. And this is a tricky one because people who are rushing, or students who are rushing, they would go for the similar one, but the signs are different. This is obviously way off. Oops. This is obviously way off. So that's obviously way off. So yeah, so the main tip I would give for this one is to realize what they're asking you to isolate, and then just slowly take it step by step and understand that the ends, they might sometimes put you might have an answer that you have done correctly step by step, but they might put in another way. So another way I would suggest, or another tip I would give, is to see if your answer can be rearranged in a way that could match the answer choices that they've given. So that's another way of the way SAT can ask these type of questions. So yeah, that's good for question 6. Question 7. The given linear function G models the annual percentage increase in the population of India of X years after 1990. What is the best interpretation of G20 is equal to 1.376? So X is equal to years. So X has to be in 20 years, has to be 20 years. So let's see which has 20 years. 20%, this is eliminated. 20 times also eliminated after 20 years. This is 20 years. Okay, so now the Y represents percentage because it's a percent increase. Percent increase was 1 point. Good, and then it's not. This is time, so this is eliminated. So our answer is choice C. See, notice how we can eliminate choices by understanding one part of the question, and knowing the other half can help us fully answer get the question right and fully answer the question. So since X was years, it would have to be 20 years after 1990, and then since Y was annual percentage increase, 1.276% had to be the correct option. So choice C is correct for 7. Question 8. For the quadratic function f shown, a, b, and c are constant. So the graph y is equal to f of x in the xy plane, the quadratic function opens upward. If it opens upward, a has to be positive, meaning that a and b are eliminated. If it was downward, a has to be negative. Oops. Yeah, has to be downward, has to be negative with that. So that eliminates a and b, and now open upward, and the vertex are both negative. If they're both negative, the only option would mean that C is correct because this is correct, but B and C both can't be positive for the vertex to be negative because the vertex switches it's a switch, and so since the vertex C determines the horizontal shift, I mean the vertical shift has to be negative, meaning sorry, represents vertical shift, meaning this has to be less than 0. Okay, and so that's why choice C is correct for 8, because for choices A and B, A can't be less than 0 because it has to open upward, meaning it has to be positive, and then D is not correct because C can't be what is it? C can't be greater than 0 because then that won't have the vertex as a negative value for the y coordinate. Question 9. How many solutions does a given system of equations have? So yeah, what I would do for this question is, so you notice you have 2 equations, right? You have 2x plus 6y is equal to 20. What I would do is distribute the 2 to get 4x plus 2y to 20, and then try to eliminate one. So eliminate one of the variables. You get 4x plus 12y equal to 40, 4x plus 2y is equal to 20, and then subtract both equations to get 10y equal to 20. You get y is equal to 2, right? And so if y is equal to 2, you can solve for x. You get 2x plus 12 is equal to 20, 2x is equal to 8, x is equal to 4. So there's only one solution because there's no other solution that would work for this question, because it won't be 0 because none of the variables cancel out properly. It won't be infinitely many because they're not the same questions, and then they don't intersect at 2 points if you were to graph them. So this is how I know question 9 is choice B, exactly 1, because you can solve it and get only one solution, a 1x and 1y coordinate, which is why it's exactly 1, choice B. Question 10. Next question. What is the sum of a solution to the given equation? So they give you an absolute value equation. Absolute value equation. And they say, what is the sum? So there are 2 ways of solving this question. First, you would subtract 4 on both sides to get the absolute value function by itself. And then you would have to do 2x plus 6 is equal to the positive 4, and then 2x plus 6 is equal to the negative 4, because there are opposite value makes everything positive. So you would have to account for the -4 as well. And then you would solve for both x's to get -2, x is equal to -1. And then subtract the 6 on both sides. 2x is equal to -10, x is equal to -5. And then since we have -1 and -5, it's asking for the sum of the solutions, meaning it would be -1 plus -5, which is equal to -6, which is choice A. And that's how you do question 10. You just have to understand how you would solve an absolute value equation, and then just add up and just take the extra step as to the sum of the solutions. And boom, and that's how you would solve that question. 11. The shaded region shown represents the solution to which inequality? So for this question, usually what I do is to see if first, if 0, 0, and the origin is in the solution set. Meaning, if 0, 0 works, then so what I mean by that is if 0, 0 is shaded in the solution set right here, that means you know it's in the solution set. So that means if 0, 0 satisfies these inequalities, that that means that equation has a possibility of being the right answer. So 0, 0. Let's plug in 0. 3 times 0 minus 0. So does that satisfy the equation? Nope. So this is eliminated. And then this 3 times 0 is 0 minus 0 greater than -3. That's correct. That's a possibility. 0 plus 0 less than or 3. That's also correct. And then 0 plus 0 greater than or equal to 3 is wrong. That's also eliminated. Now I would pick another point. Let's say 2 comma. I would pick -2, 1 to see that's not in the solution. Or I would pick another point. Let's say 1, 1 to see if it's in the solution set. Okay, so now it's only these two choices left. So I would do 3 times 1 is 3, minus 1 is greater than or equal to -3. That is correct. Now 3 times 1 plus 1 is less than or equal to 3. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4 is less than or equal to 3. That's incorrect, meaning choice B is our answer. So what I would do here is plug in points in shaded region to see if the equation satisfies or is in the solution set. Next question. So yeah, eliminate choice B. Question 12. The graph shown models the height y and feet of a volleyball x seconds after it was hit by a player. Which equation represents the relationship between the height of the volleyball and the time since the volleyball was hit? So what this is giving is a quadratic equation. Giving a quadratic equation, and so what you would have to look for is the vertex in this question. sorry about that. So yeah, so for this question, you would have to find the vertex of the equation, or you would have the vertex is the highest point, highest or lowest point on the graph. In this case, if it opens downward, meaning A is negative, opens, meaning that it would have the highest point. So you would have to see where the highest point is located, and it's right here. So the highest point, meaning that x would be 0.25, y would be around 6. So that would be the vertex, meaning that it would be choice D, because this, you just take the opposite sign of the inside of the parentheses, 0.25 and then 6. And that gives you in vertex 1. And so that's why 12 is that's where 12 is for 12 it's choice D, because it shows you vertex form, which allows you to show the accurately represented relationship between the height of the volleyball and the time since the volleyball is hit. Question 13. Trapezoid A and trapezoid B are shown are similar. The length of each side of trapezoid A is 8 times the length of the corresponding side of trapezoid B. So each side is 8 times more, 8 times as big. I should say. So let's assign sides to it. So let's say trapezoid 1 is, let's say trapezoid 1 is, B has 1, the height is 2, our height is 3, and then this base is 2, or yeah. So the formula is not base 1 plus base 2 times height. And it would be 1/2 times, or you can just do, let me see if that works. Or instead, you know what you could do, instead of plugging numbers, you could do, you can represent everything as X. And then you would have AX, AX, and then AX, 16X. And then you would get, oops. Get 64 X squared. Here you, and then you would get 2X. Yeah, you would get 2x times x 1/2. It would just be x squared. So if you just remove the x squareds, you just have 64 over x, meaning that the difference would be 64. Choice D. Yeah, so that's what you could do. Sorry about that. I was trying to figure out an easier way to solve this problem for you guys. So instead of plugging in, oops, my camera isn't on. That's what I just realized. Sorry about that. Yeah. So yeah. So instead of plugging in numbers and using 1, 2, and 3, and then multiply everything each side by 8, you would just do 1/2 times 1/2 times x plus x times the height, which is x. And then the next, for trapezoid A, you could do, this is trapezoid A. You would do 1/2 times 8x plus 8x times the height, which is 8x. Because everything is multiplied by 8. So then you get 16x times 8x times 1/2. And then you simplify everything and you get 64x squared compared to the x squared, divide the x squared out, and you get 64 as the times as large, which is choice D, 13. And let's say you would result 13. Now we're going to 14. Function f is defined by f of x is equal to -8 times 6 raised to the x minus 4. What is the y-intercept of the graph of y is equal to f of x in the xy plane? So this problem isn't challenging. It's more so of a confusing type of problem that they added in. So usually students, what they would do is realize, oh, look, that's the y-intercept. because it's in that similar to that y is equal to mx plus b form, or they would just rush and pick choice C because it's -4, 0, comma -4. They know it's in the 0, comma form, intercept form, right? But that's not the case. The y-intercept is when x is equal to 0. And since this isn't in the y is equal to mx plus b form, then you would have to do f of 0 is equal to -8 times 6 raised to 0 minus 4. 6, anything raised to the 0 is 1. So then oops, sorry about that. So -8 times 0, or -8 times 1 is -8, minus 4 is -12. What is this? 1 second, sorry about that. Sorry, okay, it's connected now. It was just a minor confusion. Let me see, show content. Start broadcast again. Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Where are we? Yeah, so like I was saying, you would plug in 0 and you get -8 times the 6 raised to the 0, which is 1, so it'd be -8 times 1, -8 minus 4 gives you -12. And so that would mean that f of, what? I'm so confused, sorry about this. Okay, it's working, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, so like I was saying, -8 times 1 minus 4 gives you -12. So it would be 0, comma -12 for this question, choice A. And that's how you would solve this question. You just have to attack it slowly and understand what they're saying and take your time with these type of problems. Last question. This is the most challenging in the multiple choice section of section 3. Which of the following expression is equivalent to radical 2q plus radical 2r raised over 2 over 3, where q is greater than 0 and r is greater than 0. So one way I would suggest doing this problem is having 2q plus 2r, squaring it, and then cubing it. That's one way, because you can do power over root, where it's take the you obey the power and then take the root of everything. So you could ignore this for now and then just do 2q plus 2r times 2q plus radical 2r. Distribute or do foiling. First, outer, inner, last. That's your binomial multiplication. And then you would have radical 2q plus 2q, or radical 2q, you get 4q, which we square it, right? You get just whatever's on the inside. So you get 4q. No, sorry, not 4q. Sorry. You get 2q. Yeah, you get 2q, and then you do that, and then you get radical 2q and 2r, just 4qr. Right? It's definitely not these two. So And then you would do the same thing again. Oh yeah, it's 4q, and then this would also be 4qr plus, and then radical 2r squared would just give you 2r. And then you would just combine these two and you get 4 radical qr as 1. 2r plus 2q. Yeah, and then you can just take the cube root of that, and that should be it, choice D. Because then you could factor out the 4 and then have that as the common between the two terms right here. So that's how you would do 15. Just have to combine the terms and then realize you have power over root. You have power over root. So that's one way you can do. Okay, and this was just mainly algebra based. So you would have to make sure you understand exponents and exponent rules and laws and everything like that. Now we're going starting in difficulty again, meaning that 16 is the easiest in terms of the fill-in, and then 20 becomes the hardest. So it's asking if 3x minus 9 is equal to 6, what is the value of 2x? So first we would do is add on both sides to get 3x is equal to 15 divided by 3, x is equal to 5, and then you can do 2 times 5, which is 10. And that would be our answer for this question, 10, because it's just simple algebra. 17. What is the positive solution to the given equation? You have radical x squared minus 9 equal to 4. You square both sides. X squared minus 9 is equal to 16. Add 9 on both sides. X squared is equal to 25. And then take the square root. X gives you 5. And that's how you solve this question right here. It's asking since it's positive, it could be positive or negative, because if you take the square root, you have plus 5 or minus 5. Since they're asking for a positive solution, it would be plus 5. 18. Line P is defined by 2y plus 4x is equal to 9. Line R, this is P. R is perpendicular, meaning that it is negative reciprocal of the slope. So you can put it in y is equal to mx plus b form. So it would give you 2y is equal to negative 4x plus 9 divided by 2 on both sides. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 9 over 2. And then you would do, since you know the slope is equal to negative 2, meaning negative reciprocal of negative 2 would be positive 1/2, and that would be our answer for question 18. Question 19. If 2x over 3 minus 2 is equal to x over 3 plus 1, what is the value of 2x? So this would be a combining like terms. So what you would do is 2x over 3 minus 2 is equal to x over 3 plus 1. Combine like terms, add plus 2 on both sides. 2x over 3 is equal to x over 3 plus 3 minus the x over 3, because then you would have the same denominator. The 2x minus x, I can write this down to show you a better way of explaining it. The denominators are the same, so you would do 2x minus x to get x over 3 is equal to 3, and then multiply everything by 3 on both sides to get x is equal to 9, right? So x is equal to 9, but you don't stop there because the question is not asking for the value of x, asking value of 2x. So since x is equal to 9, 2x would equal 18. That is your answer for 19. Last question. Points A and B lie on a circle with a radius of 4 meters. So let's draw a circle. Circle. So point A and B is the radius. The radius, which is 4. Now arc length of 4 pi over 5. The length of arc AB is what fraction of the circumference. So the circumference formula is 2 pi r. We can do C is equal to 2 pi times the radius, which is 4. C is equal to 8 pi. And that's the entire circle. The arc is just 4 pi over 5, meaning that would be 4 pi over 5 over 8 pi, right? So then you would do 4 pi over 5 times 1 over 8 pi, because you reverse it, cancel the pi's out, and then you get 4 over 40, which is equal to 1/10 as the fraction. So you can put that fraction as a 1/10 as your answer, or 0.1 would also work as your answer. And that is how you do that problem. And that we are done with the May 7th, 2022 SAT section 3. I hope you found great value in this webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Embrace Tutoring team. Check out the YouTube videos, the other webinars, the TikToks, and just feel free to comment and ask any other further questions. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and please remember to contact us at info@embracetutoring.com to set up any personalized private tutoring sessions you would like. Stay tuned for future videos, and best of luck with your studies. We definitely encourage you to visit our Instagram as well as TikTok pages if you have any questions along the way. Take care, guys. Best of luck with your studies.